Action Plan execution team, and the esteemed delegates. We all have assembled here for the grand inaugural function of the IAP Presidential Action Plan 2022 on gender equality, working towards a fully inclusive attitude to all genders is of utmost importance for sustainable development. To start with the program, may I invite Dr. Ajay V, the Dynamic Secretary of the Hosting Branch IAP Kozhikode, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Sweta. A warm good evening to everyone. On behalf of IAP Kozhikode and IAP Kerala, I would like to welcome everyone to the meeting. And firstly, I would like to welcome Srimati Anupama TV IAS ma'am, chief guest of the day. Madam is the Director of Women and Child Development, Kerala. I also welcome our guest of honor, beloved Dr. Elizabeth ma'am, UNICEF Consultant for Child Health, Kerala. I also welcome our visionary President, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, who is rolling out so many socially relevant programs under his Presidential Action Plan 2022. And also welcome our President-elect President-elect Dr. Jose, and our immediate past President Dr. Jayaraman TP, along with our EP members Dr. Nandakumar sir, Dr. Narayanan sir, and our vibrant Secretary of IAP Kerala, Dr. Johnny Sebastian. I also welcome our AHA Chairperson, Dr. Shibu, and the main team for the gender equality under the Presidential Action Plan, under our Chief Patron, Dr. Riaz, who is also the EB member of IAP, Central IAP, and Dr. Nisha Narendran, who is the State Chairperson. I welcome Dr. Nisha. Dr. Nisha is the State Chairperson of Presidential Action Plan for Gender Equality, and also is our dynamic editor of IAP today. I welcome. I also welcome our state convener and my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Ranjit P, our web editor of IAP Kerala, and also the zonal coordinator of gender equality program, under whom the further plan will be rolled out, Dr. Mohammed Hassan, Dr. Danya, Dr. Sajna, Dr. Prija, and Dr. Shweta. I also welcome my team in IAP Kozhikode under the leadership of our dear President, Dr. Mohandas Nair sir, and our Treasurer, Dr. Said Sabik. And also welcome all the senior IAPians who has joined for this so wonderful gender equality program. And all my friends and colleagues, I welcome each and everyone to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay. May I now invite Dr. Mohandas Nair sir, President of the Hosting Branch, IAP Kozhikode, for the Presidential Address. Sir is the HOD of Government Medical College, Idukki, and a doyen in the field of genetics in pediatric practice. Sir, please.
Respected President IAP Kerala, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Chief Guest of the Day, Anupama IAS Madam, past Presidents of IAP, Parvati Madam, Elizabeth Madam, Narayan Sir, Secretary IAP, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, CEC members, Dr. Riaz, Dr. Nandakumar, senior members of IAP, Dr. Nisha. Good evening to all. So today, as part of Presidential Action Plan, we are rolling out an important program, Gender Equality, which is very relevant as far as IAP is concerned. We are concerned about our children, and they are going to be the future generation. And we have to have an equitable society where they can blossom into their actual potential. So it becomes our responsibility. And we are now seeing so many issues related to gender equality, not only issues related to male, female. There are transgender community as well. And first, we should have a proper awareness about the issues. Then only we can impart the proper awareness to the population. So it is an effort from IAP to first to be aware of the issue, because every day we are learning new things regarding how to address, how to use words, or how to give equal chances, so many things. And so we should keep on learning, and we should start practicing it in our professional and personal life, so that the society will become a better place for everyone. So with these words, I would like to welcome all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I request Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, President IAP Kerala, to kindly inaugurate this novel venture, Presidential Action Plan 2022, Gender Equality. Sir is the head of Pediatric Department, Government Medical College Manjeri, and a veteran pediatric endocrinologist, a great academician, and a great singer, as we all know. Over to you, sir.
The respected chief guest of the day, Anupama Madam IAS, Director of Women and Child Development Kerala. Respected guest of honor, Dr. Elizabeth Madam, UNICEF Consultant of Child Health Kerala. Respected State Secretary Johnny Sebastian, my best friend and the pillar behind all this presidential action plan. Dr. Mohandas Nair, President IAP Calicut. Dr. Ajay V, Secretary IAP Calicut. Dr. Nisha Narendran, State Chairperson of Presidential Action Plan on Gender Equality and the Speaker of the Day. Then Dr. Jose O, President-elect. Dr. Jairam TP, the past President. Dr. Nanda Kumar, Dr. Narayanan, CIAP EB members. Dr. Riaz, CIAP EB member and the patron of this program. Dr. Ranjit, convener. Dr. Shibu, Adolescent Health Academy Kerala chairperson. And Dr. Hasna, Dhanya, Shweta, Saeed Sabik, Preeti, all stalwarts of this program, and the senior members, and my dear teachers and my dear friends. Gender equality is a global concept. It is a state in which one's gender doesn't determine one's opportunities, freedom, or importance. Acquiring gender equality is critical for promoting health, education, protection, and well-being of girls and boys. I am very happy to tell you that this is a novel concept in this year's Presidential Action Plan promise. I hope that today's inaugural workshop and subsequent programs which is being conducted throughout this whole year will definitely help to empower doctors, teachers, parents, and children alike. With great enthusiasm, I declare that this program is being inaugurated and wishing the program a grand success. Jai Hind and JAAP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are indeed honored by the presence of a great motivating personality as our chief guest. Srimati Anupama TV IAS needs no introduction among us Keralites. A person with enthusiasm towards all positive things. We are sure that ma'am's gracious presence and participation in this program is indicative of all the support she would offer us to take the step to the next level. We, IAP Kerala, is grateful to you, ma'am, for finding time to attend this inaugural function in your busy schedule. We await to listen to your enlightening and supportive words, ma'am. Over to the Director of Women and Child Development Department, Srimati Anupama TV IAS.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Good evening to all the office bearers and members of IAP and all other participants of today's program. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this meaningful venture at the very beginning. As we all know, Kerala society has always positively responded to the great demands of the society. And that was the reason why we could make huge strides in the area of health, education, and the like. But at the same time, even now, when it comes to gender equality, it's still a forced concept for many of us. A gender sensitive response to a situation doesn't come naturally to most of us because we are not used to behaving in a gender sensitive manner right from our childhood. So recently, we held discussions with many doctors, the psychologists, social workers, and all while we were auditing the Anganwadi textbooks for a more gender audited perspective from next academic year. And we were shocked to see the kind of gender insensitive lessons we were teaching to our children the last 8 years, almost 8 years, the same curricula has been continuing. So even all those were like natural response to many of the things we have seen in our childhood, like father reading the newspaper, mother getting up early and feeding him food, and girl child taking care of basic household chores, while the boy child will go for studies and higher studies and all that. So gone are those days, but at the same time, things that we see around us also have to change. And as I earlier said, unfortunately, since there was no huge demand from the society for something like gender equality among us, this continues to be at least a mirage for some elements of the society. And it can be changed only if the influencers and the decision makers can also be roped into it. So that's exactly what IAP is doing through this venture. As we all know, the voices of IAP members are heard more than many others in the society. So initiative from a professional organization like IAP, which is particularly targeting the children, is definitely going to be a game changer. I'm sure the teachers will embrace it more, the participants will embrace it more than many other training that's happening around. And I was fortunate to be associating with IAP in many ventures within the department, mainly in the field of nutrition. I'm very happy that these kind of initiatives taken by IAP will help us to take that association forward. Before Dr. Riaz called me, I never imagined that IAP would be doing something like this, because I always thought of professional medical associations to be focusing only on their core areas, but really it is a marvelous thing. So I'm happy to know that the department will have a lot to learn from your initiatives, and also the department would like to be a part of these training sessions, and we can take it forward together so that we can make a huge impact in the society. Once again, I congratulate and thank all the office bearers who are behind this initiative, and I'm sure this is going to be a major change this is going to make a major change in the society. I wish all the very best to everyone associated with this. Thank you.
That was quite a motivating address, ma'am. Once again, thank you for your presence. We'll definitely be getting your guidance regarding the way forward once our mission takes off. Thank you, ma'am, once again. We have as our...
Shweta, you got muted.
Muted.
You got muted, Shweta.
Shweta, you are muted.
Shweta, you are muted. Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anupama ma'am, for the motivating words and for your presence. We'll definitely be getting your guidance regarding the way forward after our mission takes off. We have as our guest of honor our own Dr. Elizabeth ma'am, who is now the UNICEF consultant for child health in Kerala. Ma'am is a retired head of department and superintendent, Sri Avittam Tirunal Hospital, Government Medical College, Thiruvananthapuram. Now, she is the HOD of Mookambika Medical College, Kulashekaram. It is the long list of her achievements which makes her unique, especially being from an era which is so different from ours. The very creative mind, academician, researcher, coordinator, home manager, grandparent, singer, and whatnot. This gold medalist and rank holder of her times amazes us with her enthusiasm and versatility. We are privileged to have your wisdom to guide us in our future steps, ma'am. We express our deep gratitude for your gracious presence in today's program. Over to you, ma'am, for the address by guest of honor.
Thank you, Dr. Sweta, for that kind words. Warm greetings to each and every one of you present here. I express my heartfelt gratitude for this great opportunity. I salute the chief guest, respected Anubhava Ma'am, IAS, WCD Director, IAP Kerala President, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Secretary, Dr. Johnny, IAP Kozhikode President, Dr. Mohandas Nair, Secretary, Dr. Ajay, National EB member, Dr. Riaz, the vibrant speaker for today, Dr. Nisha, and each and every one of IAPians present here. It is incredible that Dr. Vijay Kumar has thoughtfully chosen promise with the alphabet E in his presidential action plan to ensure gender equality. It is amazing. Long ago, when we were cave dwellers and hunter-gatherers, certain tasks and stereotyped jobs were assigned to female, like stay back for child rearing and homemaking. And later, when wars and battles came, males were at the war front in view of their muscle power. Ages passed, we know, and now it is not the muscle power, but education, technical skill, and mechanization that decide the outcome. Consequently, there is a cry for gender equality, but the truth is that this term will raise many eyebrows. To my mind, we must outgrow from this cry at the earliest. Most of you may be thinking why and how. I feel if education and skill training can be imparted, there should be no difference between the male and the female. And the best example we can see is the lady pediatricians who are here and Anubhava Ma'am, our chief guest herself. Capitalizing the given opportunity, we could compete for studies, job, positions, and succeed. So let us first speak about equal opportunities like education. When we educate a boy, we educate a man. But when we educate a girl, we educate the next generation and the nation at large. When and where this ideology should start? It should start from home. The saying goes, charity should begin at home. In many forums, people ask me, is there gender bias in Kerala? Often my answer is, there is not much gender discrimination, but there is male preference in most of the households. Let us start bringing up girls and boys with equal opportunities so that the cry for equality will stop forever. Let us stop gender-based bias, gender-based division of labor, gender-based expectations. Let us stop gender-based stereotyped representation and objectification of females at home, in the society, in the social media, including movies, as objects of beauty and a consumer item. Instead, let us glorify her talents, her multitasking abilities, and her patience, which is as close to that of Mother Earth. Why should a victim of rape commit suicide in shame? It is the offender who should be ashamed. So let us teach our children, both boys and girls, gender respect. Truly, the girl should be privileged to have not one, but two homes, one by birth and one by marriage, and even two surnames, one by birth and one by marriage. But often she becomes homeless, not belonging to both the homes. I was fortunate to read the two powerful articles written by Olivia and Kashinath, 9 and 10 standard students for the essay competition in connection with the Girl Child Day. I am highly impressed that they have imbibed what empowered folks like we are thinking and cherishing. Olivia advocates for girl child education, and Kashinath writes, it is ironical that men are required to protect women from men. If men are taught to respect women from childhood, I am sure this requirement will disappear. I am quoting his sentence. We have to introspect who should be the change agent in this crusade. This is important, as in every offense or exploitation against female, a woman is involved directly or indirectly. When I point my finger to you as the cause, actually 3 fingers point back at me, and the thumb points sideways to the society at large and the customs and beliefs. In fact, the change for equal opportunities and gender respect should start from the mother, I must say. Let us join hands to put an end to female feticide. girl child trafficking, assault and murder, acid attacks, dowry deaths, etc. And the current decline in sex ratio to less than 930 per 1,000 male at birth, and the higher mortality among female prevailing only in India in the globe actually poses a threat to human survival itself. On 24th January, while celebrating the Girl Child Day, the Honorable Health Minister Srimati Veena George declared a 6-week-old program empowering the girl child and women that will end with the March 8th Women's Day. Let our slogan be gender respect and zero discrimination. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Thank you very much.
We are indebted for the thoughtful words, ma'am. I'm sure those words will guide us all. Thank you, ma'am. He is known as the Josh of IAP Kerala. Yes, you guessed him right. May I invite Dr. Jose O, President-elect 2022 for the felicitations. Sir is the additional professor, Government Medical College, Alappuzha, Secretary of Pediatric Allergy and Immunology Group, Central IAP, as well as our action plan coordinator for this year. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Is I am audible? So that
Yes, sir.
I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Today, respected today meeting chairperson Dr. Mohandas sir and IAP Kerala State President Dr. Vijay Kumar, Chief Guest of the Srimati Anupama IAS, Director WCD Kerala, Guest of Honor Dr. Elizabeth Madam, the UNICEF Consultant for Child Health Kerala and Past President of IAP Kerala, Dr. T.P. Jayaraman, immediate Past President, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, the Secretary IAP Kerala, EVM-based Dr. Nandakumar M.K., Dr. Narayanan, Dr. Shibu Kilakatra, the chairperson of IAHA Kerala chairpersons, and today action plan state chairperson Dr. Nishan Narendran, the patron of the action plan Dr. Priya Sai and past national EB member Dr. Ajay, Dr. Mohandas sir, and senior members of IAP Kerala, my dear friends. It is a great pleasure and privilege me to participate in an important action plan, the promise E, gender equality, rewiring the teachers' perspectives. I would like to congratulate our state president, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and team taken the lead to choose the right topic under the leadership of Dr. Nishan Narendran to action plan gender equalities. To say gender equality is a simple word, but it is a real fact that everyone in the society having of gender inequalities among the people, the transgender or women are facing a lot of issues in that gender equalities. One of the important studies done by Women Economic Forum in 2017 shown that 68% of the women will having the percent of people, women are getting the right to and the opportunity and also the resources of the communities. Again, according to that study showed that Women Economic Forum says that to get a actual equality among the gender, it's need more than 100 years. In the government setup and by law, there are a lot of laws to get a gender equality. The real fact that it is not yet materialized in the equality in the gender till now. As the previous Anupama Madam and Elizabeth mentioned, that gender equality should be started from at home and from society and at the workplace. These are the three important areas we are hard to have get a gender equality. Then it will be can fulfill the 100% gender equality to the communities. To narrate the importance of the gender equality in the schools, the IAP Kerala under Dr. Vijay Kumar's action plan promise, we are select the app topic, gender equality, rewiring the teachers' perspectives around gender equalities. So the IAP Kerala planning to impart the knowledge among the teachers, among the school-going children, among the importance of gender equality by the perspective of these programs. I think we will have an impact on the community about gender equality in the future. I wish the program all the best and congratulations to Vijay Kumar and Johnny Sebastian and Nisha for the fulfilling this action plan, and gender equalities. Wish you all the best. Jai Hind, Jai IAP.
Thank you, sir. May I wish a very happy birthday from IAP Kerala to Dr. T.P. Jayaraman, sir, immediate past president of State IAP, and invite him for his felicitations. Sir is the consultant in charge of DEIC, Palakkad, and chairperson of Presidential Action Plan Suicide Prevention in Adolescents. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sweta, for the wishes. And I congratulate our President, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and his team for taking this important issue as one of the presidential action plans for the year 2022. Respected President of IAP Calicut, Dr. Mohan Das, Secretary Dr. Ajay, Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Madam Anupama, Elizabeth Madam, Johnny Sebastian, Dr. Josuo, our executive members, Dr. Riaz, Nandakumar, and Narayanan, and also Speaker of the Day, Dr. Nisha, and all other dignitaries on the platform. Gender equality is a state of condition that affords women, men, and transgender equal enjoyment of human rights, socially valued goods, opportunities, and resources, allowing them the same opportunities and potential to contribute to and benefit from all spheres of society, whichever field it is, whether economic, political, social, or cultural. And as Elizabeth Madam says, it is important to bring the best potential of every individual to provide the same opportunity regardless of the sex, whether it is a male, female, or transgender. Basically, being a predominantly patriarchal society, even in Kerala, we have a lot of issues regarding gender equality, and there are a lot of examples in our daily life. And it is so important that IAP as a organization with social commitment has taken up this as an important presidential action plan. Last year, our Adolescent Health Academy had brought out the first of its kind module on gender equality, which was actually prepared by the same people, Dr. Nisha, Sweta, and Sajna. And that was one of the first kind of attempt on that. And it is so nice that Nisha is taking it forward as an important presidential action plan of the year. As the name says, rewiring the teachers is so important in this concept, because the concept of gender equality has to begin from childhood. Every individual has to be made aware of this concept, and it is nice that IAP has chosen the topic as rewiring the teachers so that they can impart the concept of gender equality to the next generation, to the coming generation. So thank you, Vijay Kumar and team, for this wonderful idea of making it as one of the presidential action plans. And I thank the opportunity to participate here. And I once again thank you for all the wishes, and also my sincere appreciation to Madam Anupama and Elizabeth Madam for participating in this major event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. Nandakumar LK. Sir is a National EP member, Kerala, and Head of Department of Pediatrics, Aster MIMS, Kannur. Over to you, sir, for the felicitations.
Respected President IAP Kerala, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Chief guest today, Anupama IAS, Guest of Honor Elizabeth Madam, President IAP Kozhikode Dr. Mohan Das, and State Secretary Dr. Johnny, and other dignitaries on this platform. It's really a proud privilege for me to be a part of inaugural function of a novel program, Gender Equality, as a part of Presidential Action Plan 2022. First of all, let me congratulate Dr. Vijayakumar and his team for selecting such a novel idea and this important topic, an important theme, and it's included in this Presidential Action Plan. And I wish all the very best for this program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. M. Narayanan, a past president of IAP Kerala, for his felicitations. Sir is a dynamic leader and is now National Executive Member and is popularly known as the guidebook of all solutions to any problem. He has led the successful 20 to 40 action plan in his presidential tenure, and the biggest achievement was the massive electoral win by Dr. Ramesh Kumar sir in the Central IAP presidential elections. He is a consultant in Science Children's Clinic, Ernakulam. Over to you, sir, for the felicitations.
Thank you, Dr. Sevda, for the kind words. Respected President Dr. Vijayakumar, other dignitaries, senior pediatricians, and my dear colleagues in IAP Kerala. First of all, congratulations to Dr. M. Vijayakumar for this action plan, empowering or the gender equality in a country which is ranking 140 out of 156 as far as the gender equality is concerned. And when you just read through that, you will see that one African country, Rwanda, it has come in the first 5 countries as regarding as far as gender equality is concerned. When you go through it, it is because what they have done is that earlier rape was considered as a crime of grade 4, that is equivalent to just a theft or stealing. After the Civil War there in 1994, they made rape grade 1 crime, that is equal to murder, rape equivalent to murder. From that year onwards, things have changed, and through this lawmaking, they could achieve a better rank, because all other countries in the first 10 are either European countries or New Zealand, countries like that. And we are ranking 140. And the area where we are most marginalized, our women are most marginalized or are behind, is political scenario, where only, if you take the number of ministers in India, only 9% are women. Another area is the per capita income, because an average woman earns only 20% of the income of man. So empowerment through money is very important in this era. So that can be achieved only through education. And it is an excellent idea that we are targeting school. We are targeting school teachers so that our children, our girls get better education and they get better opportunities everywhere. And another area where the gap is there is the IAP Kerala office bearers. So I request also the lady pediatricians of Kerala to come forward and line up with IAP and grab more opportunities. And one should be able to utilize the opportunities when it is available there. So finally, we should be able to change the proverb to, even if the leaf falls on the thorn, or if the thorn falls on the leaf, both leaf and the thorn should not be damaged. That should be the final proverb. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Dr. Johnny Sebastian, the vibrant and dynamic secretary of IAP Kerala. He's working as consultant in health services in Talsheri and is the backbone of all the activities put forward by IAP Kerala. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Good evening, all. Respected Chair Mohandas Nair, sir, the vibrant Secretary of Kozhikode, Dr. Ajay, my leader, guide, and the visionary leader behind the whole Presidential Action Plan promise, Vijay Kumar, sir, Chief Guest of the Day, Anupama Madam, IAS, Guest of Honor, Elizabeth Madam, the President-elect, Jose, sir, my teammate in IAP Kerala and the Chairperson of the Presidential Action Plan, Nisha Narendran, immediate past President Jayaraman, sir, past State Presidents Parvati Madam and Narayanan, sir, National AB members, Riya, sir, and Nandakumar, sir, my teammates, Dr. Ranjit, Dr. Shweta, other dignitaries, seniors, and friends who have joined us today on this platform. I'm really happy to see this novel project on gender equality being rolled out today with so much enthusiasm and a very good participation, as it is evident today in our virtual platform. And I'm sure the team which has been entrusted to carry it forward is definitely competent enough to take this Presidential Action Plan to newer heights. They have already renamed it as rewiring of teachers, and as all our speakers have suggested, I also believe that it should start from childhood, right from our own family, and also from the age or from the LP school classes. So I wish this Presidential Action Plan all success, and also I wish this webinar today all the very best and all the participants a great learning experience. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai IAP. Thank you. Jai IAP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shibu Kirakatra is the chairperson of Adolescent Health Academy. The first module on gender equality, an introduction, was produced under AHA IAP 2021 Action Plan in his tenure. We are thankful for your presence in the team as Zonal Coordinator. Presidential Action Plan, Gender Equality. Your experience and ability in coordinating active community interventions are something which we will be banking upon in taking this Presidential Action Plan forward. Over to you, sir, for the felicitations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Respected Anupama Madam IAS, Elizabeth Madam, Vijay Kumar sir, and other dignitaries on the platform. A warm good evening to all. As TP Jayaraman sir and Shweta said, last year, Adolescent Health Academy had released a module on gender equality by Dr. Sajna and team. And it's very much happy that this relevant topic is included in the Presidential Action Plan of this year by Vijay Kumar and Joni sir and team, and Dr. Nisha and team. And I wish, on behalf of Adolescent Health Academy, I wish all the best for the program. Thank you. JAP, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. Said Sabik, Treasurer, IAP Kozhikode, for delivering the vote of thanks.
Mute. Sai Sabik is mute.
Sabik.
Good evening, all. I was not able to unmute. So, it's a part of my I'm directly going to my my duty. So I would like to thank our President of IAP Kerala, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, for the inauguration. I also like to thank our vibrant President, Dr. IAP Kerala President, IAP Kozhikode President Mohandas sir, and Dr. Secretary Dr. Ajay. I would like to thank Dr. Anubama Madam for coming as the chief guest of the function, and our respected Elizabeth Madam for the guest of honor. Then our senior members of the IAP Kerala and Central IAP. First of all, Dr. Jose, IAP President-elect of IAP Kerala, National EB member. Then Dr. Jayaraman sir, President IAP Kerala 2021. Dr. Nandakumar sir, Dr. Narayanan sir, Johnny Sebastian sir, Dr. Shibu sir, and also Dr. Shweta, North Zone Coordinator. Also, I would like to thank today's speaker, Nisha Narendran, and our chairperson, Riyaz sir, the National EB member. And also, I also thank all the dignitaries and all the senior members of IAP who came, who is participating in this function. I hope the IAP Kerala's presidential action plan that is promised 22, another letter has been inaugurated. I hope all the success for this function, and thank you IAP Calicut and IAP Kerala for giving me this opportunity in this function. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Said Sabik. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural session. Now, before going to the academic session, may I introduce the Presidential Action Plan team, Gender Equality, and let us congratulate them for bringing up the module without delay, leading to the launch of the Presidential Action Plan with definite directions. The theme of the Presidential Action Plan is Leave No One Alone for Sustainable Development. Patron, Dr. Riyaz I, Thiruvananthapuram. State Chairperson, Dr. Nisha Narendran, Thrissur. State Convener, Dr. Ranjit P, Kozhikode. Zonal Coordinators, Dr. Meena Krishnan, Thiruvananthapuram. Dr. Shibu Kirakatra, Malappuram. Dr. Muhammad Hassan, Malanad. Dr. Dhanya, Talasheri. Dr. Sajna Said, Kannur. Dr. Preeja, Kottayam. And myself, Dr. Shweta from Kannur. For the opening session on the first module on gender equality for creating awareness for primary school teachers, I invite the moderator of the session, Dr. Riyaz I, patron of Presidential Action Plan Gender Equality. Sir is the additional professor of Sri Avitam Tirunal Hospital, Government Medical College Government Medical College Thiruvananthapuram, National Executive Board member, IAP Kerala. He is a veteran in pediatric endocrinology and is in charge of the Mithai Clinic in SAT Hospital and Endocrine Clinic in SAT. With a strong endocrine basis, Sir is the best person to chair this session on gender equality. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shweta, for the nice words. Respected chairperson of this meeting, Mohandas sir, our dear IAP Kerala President Vijay Kumar sir, chairperson of the Presidential Action Plan program, Dr. Nisha, respected seniors and my dear friends. So after the inauguration, now it is time to have the module rolled out. And for that, we have an excellent speaker, Dr. Nisha, which is Associate Professor at Thrissur, Government Medical College Thrissur. And she's a trainer for various academic programs, as well as a leader of IAP who has proven her merit in various capacities. And gender equality is something which we need to take up, and we should congratulate Vijayakumar sir and team for taking this up. As an endocrinologist, as a pediatric endocrinologist, I should say that even our not only gender, even our sex of rearing is nothing but hormones, because even from the development in the womb, even our appearance, the genital development, all are because of the hormones. Otherwise, man and woman are the same. We all remember about this Parvati and Shiva. Actually, it is one body and two parts of the same body. It's like that. And coming to this particular topic, actually, we should sometimes we just wonder why in Kerala, because Kerala is the best among Indian states with the Human Development Index. And our more than 50% of our population is women. And the literacy rates are just nearby, maybe 96% for men and 93% for women. And all those things are similar. Then why we should think about gender equality? But there are three very important things which we should put an eye on. One is increasing atrocities on women. Every day we are witnessing that. It is if we compare that, it is to the tune of something happening in the northern states. Second one is the political participation. What is the political participation of women in our state? Only because the government has passed this Panchayati Raj Act, 50% of the administrators at the local self-government are women. Otherwise, what is happening in all the political parties as well as in the governance of the state? Then the third one is the economic accessibility. Even if the woman is earning, who is controlling the finances? That is a question which should be answered in the family level itself. So these 3 points I should raise before you. And with that introduction, I invite Dr. Nisha to roll out the module. And I think this will be a wonderful initiation to the school teachers. I think everything begins at school, and this is something like a primordial prevention, which we are aiming at. And it will be a lot helpful for the school teachers to train or to make their children gender sensitive and great human beings. Over to Nisha. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Dr. Riaz, for the introduction, kind introduction. Respected President Dr. Mohandas Nair sir, respected State President Dr. Vijayakumar sir, respected Chief Guest Srimati Anupama TV IAS ma'am, respected guest of honor and my dear teacher Dr. K.E. Elizabeth ma'am, respected Action Plan Coordinator and NEBM and President-elect 2022 Dr. Joso sir, respected immediate past President T.P. Jayaraman sir, respected past President and National Executive Board Member Dr. M. Narayan sir, respected National Executive Board Member Nandakumar sir, respected NEBM and patron of Presidential Action Plan Gender Equality 2022 and a great friend of mine, Dr. Riaz, respected State Secretary Dr. Johnny Sebastian sir, respected Secretary of IAP Kozhikode Dr. Ajay, and Treasurer Dr. Said Sabe, all seniors, all teachers and dear friends who have joined the meeting. I am indeed grateful to Dr. Vijayakumar sir, our president, who placed his trust on me in carrying forward this presidential action plan. And this is a very novel idea, actually, of taking up gender equality by a medical organization. Last year's IAP AHA presidential action plan by Dr. T.P. Jayaraman sir in IAP and Dr. Shibu sir and Dr. Ranjit in AHA had embarked upon this important topic. And I was privileged to be vested with the job of preparing the introductory module on gender equality then also with Dr. Sajna Said, IAP Kannur. This time, being the state chairperson of the topic in the 22-point agenda by Dr. Vijayakumar sir, we hope and plan to take the idea to the community for effective implementation of ideas, maybe step by step. The UN data says gender equality is probably fully achievable in developed countries where modules and training are all already in place. Maybe it will take around 25 to 40 years in such countries. And what is the situation in the developing nations? The projected figures from the scant studies which are available says it will come around 100 or 200 years minimum in developing countries, which means after 3 generations of inequality, tolerating that much. That is when the developing countries achieve it in the very next generation. That is only 25 years away, no? So Kerala is in par with developing nations with regard to many health status indicators. So when they have modules and all the practice all well set, it is high time we start working on the matter. And we have to implement a logical sequence of intervention to bring about the big change towards equal human rights. So we are happy to declare the beginning of the purple movement, I would say, as part of Kerala IAP Presidential Action Plan 2022, under the able guidance of Dr. Vijayakumar sir and Dr. Johnny Sebastian sir and Dr. Reyazai, with my friend Dr. Ranjit as state convener, and each one of the able zonal coordinators Dr. Shweta had mentioned. And we are releasing this introductory module for primary school teachers as the first step of the action plan. And that is a module to understand and break the stereotypes which we see around. Since the concept and ideas evolve, we will be incorporating newer things, and this will be probably a living document in the right sense. So with your permission, may I share the screen? Just 1 minute. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One second. So the Presidential Action Plan Promise 2022, the theme already mentioned, it means leave no one behind for sustainable development. That is our theme. And the contributors to the module, myself and Dr. Ranjit B, the state convener, and the reviewers of the module are Dr. Riyaz I, and that is the patron, and Dr. Meena Krishnan ma'am from Trivandrum, she's a zonal coordinator. And this is an introductory module for the primary school teachers we are aiming at. So we all have already, all the speakers before have mentioned about the stereotypes which we have. Even if the education level of women have risen, they all have to do the household chores without any support or sharing in general. So some may have the privilege of sharing and caring at home already, but in majority it's not so. So we have to unlearn certain concepts and relearn so that the future generation can have sharing and caring, so that both of the partners can manifest with all their potential. So with this idea that education against stereotypes and discrimination begins in early childhood, we planned this module. We were talking about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. It's very important that we get educated. But is this education for females mainly meant for just getting the homeworks done for the children and educating the next generation alone, so that the tuition teacher's fee is avoided? Is it so? The potential of the women has to come out beyond that. So once married off, the girl who was smiling and learning just like any other boy in our society will stop smiling, because most of the all the responsibilities other than earning will be put on her. And in most of our setting, the girl will be earning also. So after the work, she'll be coming back, planning a menu, cooking, and doing the helping with the homework, or teaching them something, or taking them to other extracurricular events, etc., while the male will be earning. So that is a set routine, and we probably, this generation doesn't have much of a complaint, and we are used to seeing role models of our mothers who used to be, majority used to be home managers. So that is possible, but we have to get all the neurons working for sustainable development for the society. So males, both males and females, have got real potential. And as Elizabeth Madam was talking about the 9th and 10th standard students' essays, you know, these children are already thinking about their future. The only thing is the parents, our generation probably is not much thinking about that, and we are sticking to our own fixed beliefs, especially of that of bi-gender norm. We have either a female or a male in mind. Anything deviant, we try to counsel and get them back into the bi-gender. Now we have to analyze whether it is right or wrong. We'll come to that a bit later on. So small actions such as exposing children to non-stereotypical characters found in books and movies, or dividing housework equally at home, redefine behavior patterns for this and the next generation, and broaden access to resources and opportunities for all genders. So it is important that the role modeling should start at home. We hear Elizabeth Madam always teaching us breastfeeding, father's role is there. That was a theme last year also. So right from breastfeeding, there should be the family participation. That is the theme. That is because the mother is feeding, she has to get support. What after breastfeeding? Why can't the support extend after breastfeeding also into the complementary feeding stage? Why can't it extend into the education phase, helping with homeworks, etc.? You know what difference it could make? Probably the smile will remain on the lady's face after marriage also. Before that, she used to be very pleasant. We hear children complaining. My mother is always very furious with my, she has a furious attitude when I do homework and all. My father is very pleasant and all. Why? Because he's not getting involved with the child, maybe. So if he's sharing, so the mother will get comfortable that the children are cared for enough. Someone reliable is taking care of my children, so that she can still smile. She can have a share. That is the sharing and caring attitude. So that we have to teach children by role modeling. Very tough to change. Simple changes can be made. Also, the most important thing, they might ask you a doubt. See, you are telling us to do housework and all. My father is not doing. Why should I do? The boy may ask you. So what doubt? What you can answer would be probably. See, our generation had a role model from such a generation, but we found that it is not giving us the much needed happiness which we were expecting. So we were thinking of solutions for your generation, and we found that this probably would be good for you. Now that we are already set and you are not set, you can probably change. So that could be an answer. So coming to gender equality, the Sustainable Development Goal 5 by UN, we have to analyze the term gender as well as equality. We have to define both. Even statements, guidelines of the UN and even websites of government of various countries and our state per se contain various advertisements or policies which mean equality for men and women. Today, we would like to add a point. You have to take into the transgender people also along with female, male, and they also have to be included in the mainstream. Imagine a situation where you are having a problem, a gender identity problem, and you are not confident enough to divulge it because the society is not accepting it. The society is fixed with the bi-gender norm. If you are going to tell it, definitely a lot of hurdles are going to come. So they're going to fight with the mental agony that is called gender dysphoria, by which they are actually suppressed in their potential, whether it is working, studying, or whatever. So naturally, their full potential may not come. Recently, if you look at many people, transgender people who are coming up in life, most of them are either in law and order field because they need to voice out. They choose that field. There are definitely really potential good people who can become doctors, scientists, and they can flourish in all fields. They have real good neurons. We have to use it. Only thing is, just don't look at them. Oh, you are transgender. Nothing like that. They are just human beings. By the way, chromosomes are never chosen, be it a male, female, or transgender. It just happens. It is not a matter of choice. So definitely human rights is what we are talking about, and gender equality is about human beings and not just about females alone. It's about females, males, and transgenders, if I put it in alphabetical order. It can be probably, we usually say males, females, like that. It should be females, males, and transgender. It can be men, women, like that. or it can be boy, girl. That's fine. You have to go with alphabetical order. There should be an order. That's the point. So what are the points they are telling for gender equality? First three, we know: end discrimination against women and girls. I would correct it as women, men, and transgender all should. There are a lot of data coming up that boys are also facing a lot of discrimination and violence. And you have to stop all harmful practices such as child marriage, recognize and value unpaid care and domestic work, ensure women's participation in leadership and decision making, and ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights. It is the woman who should decide whether she should have a child or when she should have a child. And accordingly, she should be provided with information, empowerment, as well as choices like contraception. Now, the objectives of this module, coming to the module proper, we will be introducing you to the teachers to the basics of gender concepts, what to teach and how to teach a primary school grader on gender equality, what not to tell a primary school grader to move the child away from the basics of gender equality. And you have to understand your community role as a teacher. That's what we are going to tell the teacher. They have a community role because many parents will be interacting with them. They'll have close contact with the student, and they might be actually confiding and discussing their problems. So they have a role as a teacher and a counselor to parents on role modeling, prevention of female feticide, and child marriage as well. These things may not be very prominent in Kerala, but once you are learning from Kerala and going out, you should have that base. You have to work, even if it's in a country, state like UP or Madhya Pradesh or wherever, you have to have that base and you have to take that role. So I have put some slides for understanding the most recent terms with regard to sexuality, which is very important. Anupama ma'am was telling that this is and probably an out of way topic for IAP to take up. Probably it's not so. This gender has a very important role in health as well, because health is not just physical, it is mental also. So Dr. Riaz was talking that it's all hormones which decides the development from the female towards a male in utero. So that process, if it gets disturbed at any point, there could be difficulty in the appearance of external genitalia and all. Similarly, gender identity, the definition of which I'll soon discuss, is also actually the feeling of the person, how they perceive themselves. So in this bi-gender norm-fixed society like Kerala, I'll take my example. My birth gender assigned is a female, and I'm feeling like a female. That's fine. It goes fine. Another person, birth gender assigned is male, they feel like a male. That goes fine. Imagine a situation where the birth assigned gender, which is decided based on the external genitalia or the chromosome, basically it is not matching with the person's perception of themselves. The perception of themselves is what is known as gender identity. Suppose if it is not matching, the small child doesn't know to tell that I'm not feeling like a male of like that. They can't tell. So naturally they'll have choices. From that, the mother will get a doubt. Oh, this is not fitting with the gender norms. She is a girl, she has to play with a doll, but she's choosing cars. There is something wrong with her. That is the idea going. And she gets alarmed. And she is actually shocked. And she might tell a doctor. So the doctor might counsel them. Oh, you have to try to get her back into things. You can buy her more dolls and talk to her like that. So that should not happen. The child should be allowed to explore their own sexuality. And the gender affirmative care is the most in thing now. In thing means in fashion, or that is the most favored thing in developed countries. They already have modules on it. So the gender affirmatory care means you are having a gender, you are actually very responsive to their attitudes towards their own identity. If they're telling, I want a doll, I feel like a boy. If a girl is telling like that, you have to be responsive. You have to teach the parent how to respond to such a situation. So probably awareness in community level, people will start thinking, oh, this could happen in any family. It can be your boy, your girl, anybody in your relatives. They can come to you with the same issue. So stop judging people, stop judging the child, because if you take off the burden of that difficulty in expression of own gender identity, the child is going to study well, the child is going to work well, put all his good potential for the development of the society. And definitely they deserve to live the same life, each one of us who are born in this bigender fixed norm society. We all enjoy that, no? All those things they also enjoy. So I'll come to the terminology to explore the paradigm of sexuality. This is a very beautiful picture. Here you can see the yellow one, the birth assigned gender based on external genitalia or the chromosome, the gender identity I was speaking about now. And another term is the gender expression. For example, if a male child, a boy, the birth assigned gender is a male, and he likes to dress like a girl, he's wearing frocks more. So he's expressing his gender like that to the society. So it may not conform to the usual fixed ideas of the society. So the gender expression need not be conforming to the birth assigned gender. It may not coincide even with the gender identity also. Sometimes the birth assigned gender may be male, the gender identity is also male, he just likes to cross dress. That's all. Sometimes it may be a birth assigned gender will be male, the person will be feeling that I am a female and he will like to dress like a female. So both are different. And so that is regarding gender. The society has fixed certain fixed ways of behavior for the individual. So that is gender roles. So that is regarding gender. That defines who we are actually. We are assigned something at birth, but who actually we are. That is the gender identity, what I feel about myself and how I like to project myself or interact or show in the society that I am. So even if I'm feeling like a male, I may like to express like a female. There are people like that. So we usually use lay people terminology like cross-dressing, which is actually wrong. So today's purpose of discussion is also to empower you with certain words, which are the latest. You have to use only those words to the individuals who are going through that situation. It is sad to say that they are going through that situation and all. What situation? Actually, we are also going through the situation. I am going through the situation of being a female. Somebody is going through the situation of being a male. Like that only you should take. It's all normal. Imagine the situation where the gender identity is also developing. Say it's a continuum. The gender is a continuum. It's a spectrum. So at the one end, you have the fixed norm female. Other end, you have the fixed norm male. In between, if it is getting arrested while the child is exploring, what am I? They may get confused. That is there. If you are not like that, then in this society, I would say you are lucky. But you should change the society. There is nothing matter of luck like that. They should be able to explore their gender, what they are feeling like. They should be able to express it outside, and we have to accept it without any judgment. There is no doubt about it, because it is cruel to judge people when they are expressing their gender identity and putting labels on them. It is wrong to do that. So gender means who we are. The terms you are supposed to know are birth assigned gender, gender identity, gender expression or the gender roles, etc. Now coming to the next right side of this picture, the sexuality. That is actually depending on the sexual behaviors, the sexual orientation of the person, how they emotionally they express, how emotionally whom they are getting attached to, who are, for example, the emotional stimulation they are getting from which gender, that may vary. Even if the birth assigned gender is a male and he is identifying himself as a female, he can get attracted by females. So that is sexual orientation. That is entirely a different thing. So gender and sexuality are connected, agreed, but they are totally two different entities. I hope the thing is clear. Gender identity is what the person feels about himself, whether he is a male or a female. That doesn't interfere him or her from having sexual orientation towards opposite or the same sex. Okay. And gender identity sometimes can get arrested at a point where he doesn't know whether he is a female or a male, or he feels both. He or she feels like it is a he or a she, both. It can happen to anyone. It can be your child. It can be your relative. That's what I want to tell. So support such people Make it a normal, understand it is a normal thing. It is just dependent on the hormones. Anybody can have it. Don't try to manipulate it. Just leave them alone. Let them live. You can also live happily. Be it parents, teachers, doctors, you have to be very inclusive in your attitude. So basically, sex is who we love, while gender is who we are. I hope the concept of gender and sex is clear. Now coming to the definitions, which are very, very important. You can use only these terminologies as per the latest concept. There are other old terminologies which we are not going to use, but you need to understand them also, because some people may be telling that I am like that. So you should understand what they are meaning by that. So we will go to some of such terminologies also quickly. So transgender is a very important term. It's an umbrella term that is used to describe individuals whose gender identity is different from their birth assigned sex. That's it. It's very simple. Birth assigned sex is different from what they perceive themselves to be. And mind you, it is an adjective. If somebody is communicating with you and telling that I am a transgender female, you can't label them. He's a transgender. She is a transgender. Like that, you can't tell. It can't be a noun. Nor can you verbalize, make it a verb. Like you can't say he's transgenderized. Nothing like that. That term is wrong. Whatever you have to put it very clear. So what is a transgender male mean? I told transgender means it is different from the birth assigned sex. So birth assigned sex, if it is a female, imagine, and the person is perceiving himself, that person is perceiving to be a male. So it is a female birth assigned, perceiving to be a male, no? So it is a transgender male. That is the diagnosis. The final description of the person's gender identity, it's a transgender male. You have to respect their feelings. They would like to be addressed like that, and that is final. Similarly, the birth assigned sex, if it is a female, and the person is perceiving themselves to be like a male, you have to talk it as transgender male. That is the point. I hope the definition is clear. Now coming to the next important word which we are going to use very often, that is gender diversity. It just means variation from the cultural norm in gender identity, expression, or gender role behavior. That is, it can be in choices of clothing, hairstyle, toys, playmates, or whatever. Basically, it acknowledges the spectrum of gender identities I told earlier, and it replaces the old terminology of gender non-conformity, which has a negative and exclusionary connotation. So you have to remember the terminology gender diverse individual. Where will you apply this gender diverse individual? You should know. From the definition, it is clear that gender identity, if it is not matching with birth gender, the transgender, which we discussed above, is a gender diverse person as well. But if the gender identity and the birth assigned gender is both matching, but the person just needs to cross-dress, in that case, remove the word cross-dress. You will call it is a gender diverse male if he is using a frock. I hope the way to use the terminology is very clear. So you can assign the birth assigned gender itself, but if he's cross-dressing to the other opposite gender, you can tell like that. He's just a gender diverse male. Don't judge what he is doing, in which way. Is it his hairstyle? Is it his play method? Nothing you need to know. You just label them as gender diverse male, because again, it is a normal variant. Now coming to another definition, gender incongruence or dysphoria, I already mentioned. Imagine yourself in a position you are not clear with your identity. You will feel distressed to tell it out. And if you tell it out, all the hurdles placed, you will be tackling probably 1/3 of your life, getting over all those hurdles. And thus your ultimate potential won't be reached. So imagine that is happening to other people. And in this gender fixed, idea fixed society, I would say you should have empathy. Actually, empathy is probably would be a wrong term, because they are all normal human beings equal to us. So why should we have empathy? The problem is our societal attitude is wrong. So they require definite empathy. And you have to understand that you need not show it out. You just behave like they are normal individuals. I'm sure you all will be doing. I'm just telling how you should talk to a teacher. Maybe teachers may not be knowing all these things. So maybe you can counsel them. If you are doing like that, please avoid doing that. Don't give that wrong look, because it is wrong on your part only. Your attitude probably could go wrong. So try to avoid such situations when you have patients in your consultations as well. If you are very open to such things, the patient will open up to you, tell all their problems, and you will be one tool in getting them back into track. What better than getting many people back into track? You may be treating one patient in ICU and getting them cured. It is a great achievement, I agree. But if you are getting this idea instilled into the teachers, many teachers in a go, you are actually helping many people, many normal children who would have expressed their potential fully. So that is a great thing to do. So counseling teachers is very important. Tell them regarding the idea of gender dysphoria. Don't ever be the reason for creating gender dysphoria in another person. Transsexual, it is an older clinical term that has fallen out of favor. Historically, it was used to refer to the transgender or gender diverse individuals who sought medical or surgical interventions for gender affirmation. So recently, I was watching a movie, partly some Chandigarh Kare Pyar or something, some movie like that, in which the heroine is actually a transgender female. That means the assigned gender at birth is a male, and she preferred to be a female. Her father supported her. It's very nice to see that. Father supported her. She changed. She actually got a surgery done, and she was looking very beautiful, etc. And the complications. So such things can happen in the society, and you have to be inclusive of such individuals. They deserve to live in the gender given to them. If you believe in God, by God. Now, regarding sexual orientation, I talked already about that. You have a trans man. For example, trans man means the birth assigned gender is a female, and the person identifies themselves to be a male, and they will be labeled as a trans man. But the sexual orientation can be towards either a female or a male. If it's a female, then he will think that it is fitting with the society. Otherwise, he will describe himself as a gay man. Now, regarding sexual behaviors, the lesbian, gay, bisexual community, this terminologies are mainly used for screening and risk assessment, because especially these persons, they don't like the labels of homosexuals, heterosexuals, bisexuals, etc. Means bisexual is okay, but homosexual, heterosexual, etc., which they think that it is very discriminating, and it is very negative in that sense. So you can be specific. What is his sexual orientation? That is what is meant by lesbian, gay, or bisexual. So that should be the point. You have to put it objectively without attaching any emotions or any expressions. Now coming to the trans man, it's a birth assigned sex female, I told already, with a gender identity of a male, and I talked about a trans woman already. Another important terminology you should know, non-binary gender identity is the most decent term you can use as of recent consensus. There are descriptions of gender queer, gender creative, gender independent, bi-gender, cisgender, agender, two-spirit, third sex, and gender blender, etc., which are probably, we can all give it up and go for a more inclusive terminology like non-binary gender identity. That is actually putting blame on the society, which has got a binary gender norm fixed. So you can describe them as non-binary gender identity. Some people may be just exploring. They are still not sure whether they are feeling actually like a male or a female. That's fine. They are queer. And sometimes they may be questioning. Sometimes they may be intersex people. So accordingly, based on sexuality, the classification goes as LGBTQI+. Plus means you can still add, because it is actually newer ideas are coming up as and when the people report. Actually, the prevalence of the transgender population is not known. That is sad, because they are not willing to open up. Now people are coming up, opening up, but studies are very scant on them regarding the prevalence. Maybe, who knows, they may be a majority. It's just your thought that they are a minority. Nothing like that. Who knows? So you have to be inclusive, and sometimes this male, female, etc. may become a minority also. So don't judge people. And the gender affirmative care, you have to be very responsive. and you have to be accommodating to the child's presentation. Whatever the child feels or talks, the mother talks to you, you have to be accommodative. That is primary as a physician. So in future practice, especially for the young pediatricians, they have to be very well versed with this gender equality, gender identity, everything. Gender identity is a very important part of gender equality. And so that is an important part of pediatric practice as well. So you can't tell it is not related to health. It is related to health in every way, practice as well as the person's mental health, to get full potential for sustainable development. I told gender is a continuum from female to male. Societies that view gender according to this more fluid or developmental perspective may be more accepting of gender variations. That is known. And you should understand that healthcare provider recognition and validation of the gender continuum and acceptance of the individuals, no matter where on the spectrum they identify, may help to increase the tolerance in families and communities. So it is your role to lead. So better, the pediatricians are better in a better position to take the lead and go forward. And that's what IAP Kerala has done this time. I'm thankful to Vijay Kumar sir and team for choosing this. Now, just to awaken you if you are sleeping, this is the famous characters in movies. One, you will identify it as Chandaputta, actor. Can anybody from the discussion above give a decent label to him, an acceptable label to him? In chat box you can put, and Shweta can read out the chat box responses. What can this character in Chandaputta be labeled as? And what is this character, the actress Anjali, who took the lead role with Mammootty in Peranbu movie? What can she be labeled as according to the discussion which we went? In this movie, Dilip is the actor. He is actually cross-dressing and all. I am not fully into the movie thing, but finally he is getting married to a female. So probably he's identifying himself as a male. He just wants to dress like a female. So the better terminology would be gender diverse male. That would be. And it is not a transgender because he is birth assigned male and he is identifying himself as a male. That is why he is getting married to, probably, we don't know. Again, I told sexual orientation is different also. So probably it could be a gender diverse male or it can be a transgender also. And again, coming to the Anjali, the old terminology used to be transsexual. She underwent probably some procedure and probably it was a birth assigned male turning to look like a beautiful female. So that is transgender female. When I talked about the word beautiful, I should come to the topic of gender inclusive language. I actually didn't use gender inclusive language, maybe. In various meetings, we come to see that even if the speaker is very well qualified and the speaker may be very charming and beautiful, agreed, and the person will be introduced as a charming speaker, very beautiful speaker, instead of all the academic achievements and the potential she has, she will be introduced like that. But never we hear somebody introducing a handsome speaker. It's very, very rare. Is it right or wrong? Maybe the current generation has to again unlearn, means you have to unlearn and relearn to address people on a public platform. You can address people with their accomplishments or their position. Maybe if you want to compliment, if they are your friend, you can tell it in private, that's fine, but never on a public platform. That is what you have to teach the children, and try to change yourselves also, because it looks more cultured and more inclusive, I would say, more inclusive. Okay, and you should use non-discriminatory language. Make gender visible only when it is relevant for communication. As Anupama ma'am was telling, in textbooks itself, there are a lot of statements mentioning he, she, like that. Suppose if the transgender community is a majority, the majority of the population will be actually feeling sad, isn't so? So even if they are a minority, they are human beings as well. Don't discriminate with your language. You have to unlearn this his, her. You can use one's own. You can use person, like that. And do not make gender visible when it is not relevant for communication. It's another statement, a rule, actually, I might say. And avoid gender-based biased expressions or expressions that reinforce the gender stereotypes. avoid telling that ladies, you make this room beautiful, nothing like that. Okay, so it's just gender inclusive language per se is a big topic to take up. For some discriminatory examples you can probably avoid would be, she throws or runs or fights like a girl. It can be both for a girl or a boy. Do things in a manly way. Don't say like that. Nothing like that. Basically, as Elizabeth Madam and that child in her essay, she was telling that the cave people divided because it is division of labor just for convenience. One will go and hunt and come back. The other is anyway giving birth, so she can take care. Like that it happened. So that is millions of years back. Now we have evolved. It's all mechanized. Even if it is a thing which is involving physical labor, there'll be technology to assist you. So even a female or a male can take part. So over the years, maybe practice is lost for females. That is why muscle is not there. So maybe if we put them to more practice, both of them can do powerful jobs, especially with the technology. So you can say, you need not actually judge and say, do it in a manly way. You can say, do it strong, like that. You can use gender inclusive languages. Okay, that's women's work. Recently, I was attending my child's classroom. The teacher was asking something, do you know to cook like that? She was actually very gender inclusive. She was trying to instill the idea that everybody should know to take care of themselves. She was trying, in fact, to empower the boys. We always talk about empowerment of girls. I would say girls are by default empowered in our society. They learn to take care of themselves. They learn to cook or clean themselves. Sometimes when education is taking up, maybe girls don't cook at homes now. And they will be put to cooking thing only after marriage. So suddenly it is a shock to her. She'll go for work. She is a qualified rank holder. She will go to work. She'll come back. She will browse YouTube. She will start cooking like that. It doesn't happen to a male. They'll go home. They'll again go to work. They'll come back and they'll watch TV or do WhatsApp or whatever. Those things happen, no? So the teacher was trying to instill the idea of that cooking should be for males also. A child, a boy responded immediately. I don't know. That is, girls do kitchen work like that. So the small boy is already learned seeing his mother probably. That is role modeling. And actually it is happening in every home, most of the homes. In some way you can change, probably on a Sunday, share it at least. If you can't change it fully, that's fine. On a Sunday you can cook and tell, see, we are not used to it, but we are trying to change on a Sunday. You should change your full life so that you really get a partner. You are not going to be a master. Your wife doesn't need a master. She needs a life partner. So partner and master are different. Try to be a partner. It should be sustainable relationships, sustainable partnerships, and sustainable development will follow at home as well as in workplaces, institutions, and organizations. So females need time. They need time for themselves to relax. They need to be shared for and cared for in the jobs to attain sustainable development. Now, gender equality. I was talking about the first part, gender. Let's consider the second part of the word, equality. Equality is the state or condition. I actually changed the definition from a reliable source. They were telling about only women and men. I included the trans members also because this is our document and we have to progress. We have to lead the way, I thought. So the state or condition that affords women, men, and trans members equal enjoyments of human rights. It's human rights and socially valued goods, opportunities, and resources, allowing them the same opportunities and potential to contribute to and benefit from all spheres of society. And naturally, inequality is the existence of unequal opportunities and rewards for different social positions or status within a group or society. Another important term which we should know is gender equity. It may sound similar, but I will read through the definitions, sentences given in this, but I'll give you good examples. What is the difference between equality and equity? Everybody should know. Equity means giving what is needed to be successful. Sometimes a woman need not be given the same opportunities as men to be successful. She just needs to be supported in a different way. So what is needed should be given. That is more relevant in the future context. Be it a disabled child, be it a woman, be it a transgender person. It's an adjective I told, no? So gender equity should be coming up. So it is justice and fairness in treatment of every gender to eventually achieve gender equality. often requesting differential treatment of women and men or specific measures to compensate for the historical and social disadvantages that prevent women and men from sharing a level playing field. So this is an example of equality where the box is given equally to all the children, irrespective of their height, to watch the match. And another picture, this is the long person is not given any box. His box is redistributed without any extra input in cost. It is redistributed to the shorter person and everybody is watching the match equally and enjoying. So equity is definitely better than equality. So remember the concept of gender equity, it will come up soon. Now it is gender equality we are putting up. Gender equity is an important concept, keep it in mind. So equality is giving everyone a shoe, while equity is giving everyone a shoe that fits. So which is better? Equity. So you have to counsel the teachers to avoid stereotype fixation to gender. The primary school teachers is the first, along with parents, to take this right from home itself. And the teachers and parents together can work on it, create awareness among the parents of your students too, that you can tell them. So coming to the stereotypes, that we are planning to remove the stereotypes from the minds of the primary school teacher so that she imparts it to the parents. I'm not telling mothers, I'm telling parents. So parents have equal responsibility, right from breastfeeding, complementary feeding, homework, going to the PTA meetings, taking admissions in schools or whatever. So the parents has to take part in such counseling sessions together preferably, and they have to give at least a listening ear to the teacher, and they have to teach the children. Remove the doll stereotypes. Let children play with whatever they want. Try not to introduce toys as a stereotype representing a gender. Do not say dolls for girls and cars for boys, because playing with dolls will help develop empathy, even in boys. And playing with cars helps develop spatial skills, even in girls. I'm not forgetting the transgender. The transgender features may start appearing from primary childhood itself, but usually the child will get rebellious and start expressing it in adolescence. Now that human rights and freedom of expression, everybody knows, even including children, they will start expressing it by adolescence generally. But in this age group itself, we will get a clue and never prevent them from expressing their gender, because that will lead to gender dysphoria. If we are trying to counsel back and put them back into the society fixed gender by gender norm, they will feel upset. Oh, I feel like I'm this, but I'm not able to express it. Amma is not giving me doll to play at all. I want a doll. Like that, the birth as a fixed boy may feel like that. And that will actually put him down. That is called gender dysphoria. It will prevent him from achieving what he wants. So don't go with stereotype. Allow the child to explore his gender. So they can play with a doll as well. It can be a boy doll or a girl doll, depending again on the gender identity, as well as the orientation, which is slowly developing, sexual orientation. And girls can play with cars, etc. also. Both these skills are empathy as well as spatial skills are essential for the future of kids, be it a boy or a girl. That is the point. And this may show a bit of empowerment for the girls, a pleasant picture, but the thing is, they are putting themselves at risk. They are not obeying the rules. They're not wearing a helmet. That is the only point here. But otherwise, it looks good. They look really empowered. And the color stereotype, the second one, I'm naming according to the various stereotypes for ease of remembering. So the color stereotype, take out the gender stereotype with regards to color. Let girls too wear beautiful blues and boys wear pink too. See, it looks so beautiful. So you shouldn't arrange celebrations in school with girls wearing pink, boys wearing blue like that. In that way, our Golden Jubilee Pedicon, actually, it was a gender neutral uniform, all having the same dress, means it was envisioned like that, with pink as the primary color for all. So that is basically a good development. Now coming to the third one, the job stereotype at home, where role modeling is very, very important. You have to instruct the parents to be role models at home. I mean the teachers. Don't fix job stereotypes at school or at home, like boys should carry the weighty text notebooks like that. No, nothing like that. Let girls also carry that. They can do it. Try and divide home chores between parents while the child is watching, at least on a Sunday. And this is the best way for the child to learn gender equality right from the home. And this is complementary feeding phase. Boys, males have a role, and in homework as well. And what regarding the achievements, see, job stereotype, you can remove. We all are revering this pediatrician, this Dr. Madhuri Kanitkar ma'am, who got 3 stars for her, as well as many other accomplishments in her career. So another woman would be Tessie Thomas ma'am, who was implementing the Agni series missile launch. Then the Dr. Indira Hinduja, who brought in the gift. Then Shubha Tole ma'am, who actually found out the gene for controlling brain development. And coming to the transgender community, most of them, see, they are going for becoming a lawyer. That's not, actually it's good, agreed. But they have many, many potential doctors, scientists, and in all fields they can come up. Just remove the judging attitude. You should not be one. That is a message you should take after this. You should not be one judging for one person choosing their gender. So she actually became the first transgender lawyer. And this is Joyita Mondal, who became the first judge, ma'am. She was appointed at Lok Adalat in North Bengal in October 2017. And this is Pritika Yashni, who became actually a sub-inspector, again, law and order. And this is a principal. Again, I don't know, the description in the article is as a charming Manabi Bandobadhyay. I don't know what charming has to do there. Again, I think it is not a gender inclusive language to call them charming publicly. It may be charming, I agree, but she is in a position. And coming to Shabnam Mausi, the MLA, she is a transgender, born a transgender female. She contested elections from Sohagpur constituency. Now coming to the game stereotype, don't fix game stereotypes at school. You can't say soccer is for boys and it's not for girls. And sometimes if the girl is playing soccer, you call them soccer girl. Nothing like that. They can play cricket, football, whichever they want, they let them play. Let all kids enjoy whichever they like. And that's happiness. And never label any game as boyish or girly. Let it be equal. And even males can, if they are interested in makeup, let them do. It is just makeup. Let them have a big makeover session. It's not just for girls. Now coming to the action or emotion stereotype. Don't fix action or emotion expression stereotypes. Don't tell to act macho and boyish or not to be silly crying like a girl. Let all kids just learn to be strong. Let expressing emotions appropriately help them stay light, like after a crime. It's just a normal human reaction. Let them have the privilege to vent their emotions, both boys, girls, transgender people. This is a very beautiful picture which I took from the Women and Child. Ranjit helped me to take it. Women and Child Department, Development Department has published many such pictures which are really beautiful, but some needs edit, I would say. They have to be more inclusive, considering you should not label as girl, boy everywhere. It can be transgender people also. Now coming to the cartoon stereotype, don't favor movie and cartoon stereotypes. Dora for girls. And what is that? Pokemon for boys, nothing like that. If they like to watch Pokemon, a girl is liking, you don't interfere. Teasing and bullying kids who watch some cartoon with opposite gender stereotype to it should be discouraged. Now coming to the STEM stereotype. What is STEM stereotype? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics typically belongs to boys, brainies, and women are more into art or music or English. English for girls, like that they say. Let them develop holistically and have their free choices. Typical example being Sri Vineet. We all adore him for his artistic skills and dancing powers, you know. Now coming to the language stereotype. The gender inclusive language concept I mentioned already. Do not discriminate. For example, you can use chairperson whether male or female, not telling sentences like girls, you make this room beautiful. Men just don't understand. That also should not be told. Men should not be discriminated as well. In fact, there are not many studies about the difficulties men face. So actually all the studies are directed towards difficulties of women only. So you should have an objective evidence, how much percentage for men, for women. So you have to study both, all men, women, transgender people. You should be inclusive in studying as well, in research as well. Now coming to the diffident stereotype, respecting own body, self-care and self-confidence. Children should explore their bodies naturally and don't label it as a bad habit. You should take this opportunity to make them understand their bodies. In fact, in that age group, no, the children will be exploring. You can talk to them which body part. You can tell the right name. Don't give any nicknames to body parts. They should understand their body parts and respect their bodies. Teach them that it's okay to touch their private parts, but it's a private thing. If they're touching their private part, it should be done in private places like bathrooms or so. Teach them it is wrong to touch anyone else's body in their private parts. Very important. And tell them about good touch, bad touch. They shouldn't allow others like friends and strangers to touch them at private parts. And tell them that parents may touch those areas by bathing them in their childhood, but it's not okay for a relative or a close family friend to do so otherwise. We also hear of many POXO cases where parents are involved. So it's always good to teach the child a good touch and a bad touch. In private parts, no touch unless it is for bathing purpose. That should be the message. Teach them self-care and self-confidence. Now coming to the kitchen and cleaner stereotypes, you have to empower the boys, not the girls. Empower females as well as males in alphabetical order, and the transgenders also if they are coming up. You have to keep cooking lessons for all kids and of all grades, keep cleaning lessons or lessons for all kids and grades. So this is just a picture. I'm not sure what happened after that. After putting the egg, the boy ran away probably. And after taking the picture, the boy threw that cleaning thing mop away. I don't know. Anyway, if they're doing it, it's a good change. And we all know that this is actually the late Sri Naushad was a wonder, literally. The beautiful dishes he used to, recipes he used to share. If you mix the things just like that and cook, no, it comes really exotic. So to the parents, what the teachers can talk. You can disseminate the ideas given like this in Women and Child Development Department site. It is given. Avagashamana veedukalile thulyada. Avagashamana തൊഴിലിടങ്ങളിലെ തുല്യത. അവകാശമാണ് അവസരങ്ങളിലെ തുല്യത. അതുപോലെ പെൺകുട്ടികൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത് ബർഡൻ അല്ല. ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ കുട്ടി ഉണ്ടാവുന്നതും ബർഡൻ അല്ല. You should add that. That's what is my point today. And സ്ത്രീകൾക്ക് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള ജോലികൾ per se is a title. But see this. സുരക്ഷിതമായ ജോലികൾ is a title. Is this a സുരക്ഷിതമായ job? യാത്ര ചെയ്യേണ്ടാത്ത ജോലികൾ. She is driving a lorry or a bus. കായികാധ്വാനം വേണ്ടാത്ത ജോലികൾ. Remember the Mary Com wonder. വീട്ടിൽ നിന്നും അധികം ദൂരമില്ലാത്ത ജോലികൾ. Sunita Williams ma'am may be working in space. വെയിൽ കൊള്ളണ്ടാത്ത ജോലികൾ. See, there are a lot of discrimination. So സ്ത്രീകൾ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കേണ്ടത് അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ജോലികളാണ്. I would add transgenders തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കേണ്ടത് അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ജോലികളാണ്. I would again add പുരുഷന്മാർ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കേണ്ടതും അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ജോലികളാണ്. No discrimination to anyone is the motto. Leave no one behind. Don't leave men while you are talking. They are also to be included. So I would say you have to apply he or she and a transgender to all these. അവൾ നോ പറഞ്ഞാൽ അംഗീകരിക്കാം. That is what they are telling. Not പ്രതികാരം, ഭീഷണിപ്പെടുത്തൽ, നിർബന്ധിക്കൽ. And any dress they wear is their choice. It is your attitude that you should change. Why? If they are actually wearing, maybe they like to appear like that. Who are you to judge and who are you to stare? Teach your boy not to stare. That is very important, especially publicly. They just stare people and they just try to touch. People may say it's because they are wearing like that. I would say you should change your attitude. Agreed. You can cover up. It's their choice. Okay. പീഡനം ശാരീരികം മാത്രമല്ല, മാനസികമായ പീഡനങ്ങൾ, വാക്കാലുള്ള പീഡനങ്ങൾ, everything. Here again, the picture is that of a female. You can put every concept. You can actually put it as a cartoon or whatever to include all genders. ഒരെണ്ണം കൊടുത്താൽ ശരിയാകും. This should be to all. ആരുടെ അടുത്ത് ഉപദ്രവിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. See these advertisements. ഞങ്ങളുടെ വീട്ടിൽ ആണുങ്ങളൊന്നും ജോലിക്ക് പോവാറില്ല. ആണുങ്ങളായ കുട്ടികളെ നോക്കി വീട്ടിലിരിക്കണം. ആണുങ്ങളാകുമ്പോ കുറച്ചൊക്കെ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അടക്കം ഒതുക്കം ഉള്ളവരായിരിക്കണം ആണുങ്ങൾ. Is this what we follow? No. പെണ്ണുങ്ങൾ we replace. No. വിവേചനം പുരുഷന്മാരോടാകുമ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാകുന്നുണ്ടല്ലേ? That is the point. But here again, transgenders also should not be discriminated. So feticide is luckily statistics wise may be less common in Kerala, but it could be still there. Teachers have a role in If the mother is coming and talking to you, see, I have this issue at home, you have to take the role, talk with the family. Child marriages, it should be prevented, especially in COVID scenario, it was increased. So teachers have a role. And this is a recent change, gender neutral uniform. The children are looking all comfy and smart. It is important to make sure that sanitation and healthy habits will be followed in the age group, especially around 12 years when puberty sets in girls. Awareness sessions should be focused and intensified in this age group regarding menstrual hygiene and preventing of UTIs. I would say right from primary age, children start wearing pants, even in low income group, middle income group, etc. They're used to pants and shirt, but I don't know why boys don't choose skirts. So what is exactly a gender neutral uniform? It's a controversial topic. I won't go into it. Why can't boys choose skirts or saris? But then here the point is, in our part of the country, the cleaning procedure after going to toilet is actually a wet procedure. So that needs care. So probably it will be difficult if you're wearing a pants, especially in the initial stages of puberty. So in the high school section, probably it would be better to go for the previous uniform, is my personal opinion. But in higher secondary, they would have been experts. They would practice over time. Cleaning up would be their priority. In that higher secondary school and above, as well as in below, upper primary, UP, etc., this looks a very smart uniform, gender neutral uniform. Focus may be on adopting comfortable wear on one's choice. If it is outside, you should not judge them. You should not stare at them. Choices can't be made in a chosen uniform, that we know. So you have to go for a gender neutral uniform. So the choice could be depending on all the considerations taken into account, including the climate. You have to create awareness on equal rights to nutrition, education, job opportunities, opportunity of choice regarding marriage age, reproductive health, labor at homes, irrespective of gender. All the websites you can go through, they're doing beautifully well, but transgenders are not included as a terminology. Girls are empowered by default in our society. I told earlier, it's time to empower the boys with right thoughts and action. Also, do remember, gender is a person's choice. Learn not to judge and be inclusive in attitude. Be inclusive for the LGBTQI+ individuals also, because gender equality means basic human rights also. So the vision 2045, 25 years from now, if you start acting now, you can create boys with sharing and caring mindsets. Gender equality is possible only if boys are willing to share and care. And aim to create caring partnerships for future parents, creating better workspace partnerships. So the short-term goals of our action plan would be this orientation webinar for the coordinators and pediatricians. All those who attended, thank you. And lesson plan for lower primary schools, this is already set to be rolled out on a zonal basis, probably with all the support from the state OB as well as government or whichever organization is coming in. Instruction module for the lower primary teachers on a zonal basis. A sensitization module for parents of children 1 to 4th grade on a zonal basis. Probably we can even think about sensitization module for ICDS, Anganwadi workers, and a leaflet dissemination. A similar module in upper primary and high school section, and probably finally reaching out to the curriculum. Make it a chapter in each class so that they learn the same word in each class with increasing severity of the topic, so that they understand that this has to be incorporated into their life. I thank all the contributors, the reviewers, all the support from the state OB, Vijay Kumar sir, Johnny Sebastian sir, Gopi Mohan. Then all the coordinators were very supportive, and thank you for getting involved with us, for agreeing to be part of the team. Thank you all. These are the references. May I stop sharing? And we'll probably have a couple of questions, if any, or a discussion from, I'm sure our moderator is superb, with a strong endocrine basis, as Shweta was telling. I would request Dr. Riaz ji to please add his experiences in this regard.
Thank you, Nisha. I don't think there is much to add, because for most of us, when we say gender empowerment, we just think about a boy and girl only. You have thought above that, and we do see, actually as an endocrinologist, I do see children who are coming with such ideas of gender fluidity. And as she had told, our judgmental comments will be adding more harm to them. Rather than that, we can give them some space and time. Most of them will slowly find out where they are comfortable. So because I will add a word on that, because when such a family comes to us as a pediatrician, we should be very empathetic to them. We should not express any shock or some sort of stigma to that, because they are already pained. The parents are pained. They are very much confused, and they are coming to us for a help. So we can say that this is also normal. It is you cannot say that it is abnormal also. This is also normal, because people are different. So it need not be always a boy or a girl. It can be different. So like that we can explain, and we can give them some time, space. The child later may decide what to do. We have to help them go through that particular situation. I'm telling this because there are even communities which may lure such people, such children, and take hasty decisions. So if we don't help them, if we don't care for them, they can go for such traps. So that is very, very important. And regarding this school uniform, our Mohandas sir was also asking the same question. Is the what do you call that, gender neutral uniform really hygienic and all? So I think that is something to be debated among educationalists and doctors. And I don't think
I would like to add, the thing is, initial phases, to be frank, the child won't be very adept at changing pads. That is the method we use now. So if some staining has happened, it won't look very good actually. They will be very conscious in that age group. They are all taken away by hormones, no? So better try to give an option like that. So probably in that age group, it is probably you have to look into it rather than debating on it, I would say. Thank you for the inputs. That's true.
എല്ലാത്തിനും പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ട്. ഓപ്ഷൻ കൊടുത്താൽ അത് കുട്ടീന്റെ ഓപ്ഷൻ ആവണം എന്നില്ല. അതാണ് വേറൊരു കുഴപ്പം.
അല്ല ഇപ്പൊ ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞ സ്ഥിതിക്ക് we can take a feedback. How did you feel like in those days? Like that you can take a feedback survey probably.
ഷർട്ടും പാന്റും രണ്ട് ഓപ്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ പേരൻസ് നിർബന്ധിച്ചിട്ട് സ്കേർട്ടിലേക്ക് മാറ്റും. അതൊരു കുഴപ്പമാണ്.
You can get a feedback from the child how you felt in those days when you had to change and all. Was it difficult? Did you face any issues? You can go after 6 months, you can do a survey. So they might tell the truth.
Yes, thank you.
I'm seeing a question, probably Sindhu ma'am was asking, what about the color of our growth charts? Actually, if a person is competent enough to do the growth charts, why color? No need. Take it out, is my personal opinion. But I don't know. Maybe it's set. But probably looking forward, don't create any color stereotype is what we can tell. Growth chart is not an issue. Actually, in primary school level, don't fix it. That is the thing. That is for the ease only we are doing the growth charts. I don't have any authentic references for the answer. It's just a personal opinion, ma'am. Thank you for the participation.
But Riyas will be able to say, is there any difference in the growth charts in female?
Color is there, ma'am. Pink and blue, no?
No, color is there, but is there any difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely there is a difference in the...
There is a difference, madam.
There is a difference that maybe
the growth rate is different. The
growth rate is different. Velocity is
done like this.
You can put it as growth chart for girls, growth chart for boys. Like that is enough. In both languages, you can.
Okay. That will be better. That will be better rather than having.
But what Nisha is telling and what Sindhu has raised is a valid point. So we need not brand, because some color is for somebody. So that is true. It is only for ease.
Yes, color മാറ്റിയാൽ മതി. ഈ രണ്ട് കളറും മാറ്റിയാൽ മതി. എങ്കിലും alternate change ചെയ്താൽ മതി.
ശരിയാണ്.
രണ്ടും അല്ലാതെ വേറൊരു കളർ ഇട്ടാൽ മതി.
മതി.
Neutral color.
Narayana Naik sir, I didn't understand the question. What about pregnancy? I didn't understand the question. Could you unmute and ask?
You can just have same and write this is for business.
Somebody is unmute. Please check your mics. Somebody is unmute.
Yes, thank you, handsome Riyas, for giving me an opportunity. And actually, Nisha had done a very good presentation. She had taken a lot of pain to prepare the scientific aspects of the gender equality and equity difference a lot. But we see in our practice, when there is a small change in the genome, maybe a small translocation or small deletion, something like that, that makes a lot of changes in that individual. Like that, finally, after all, there is one Y chromosome in the male. And won't that Y chromosome have some definite impact that will be an obstacle in our equality?
ഇത് എല്ലാം ലേൺഡ് ബിഹേവിയർ ആണ് സർ. അതായത് വർഷങ്ങളായിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഓവർ ദി ജനറേഷൻസ് നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ച കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ. കാരണം ഇപ്പൊ ഇതൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാലും ചില ദിവസം വീട്ടിൽ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഭാര്യ ഇങ്ങനെ കണ്ണുരുട്ടും നമ്മളെ, എന്താണ് നീ പറയുന്നത് എന്നുള്ള. അപ്പോൾ അത് നമ്മുടെ സ്വഭാവം, അത് മാറ്റിയെടുക്കാൻ നമ്മൾ ബോധപൂർവ്വം ശ്രമിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ്.
ജനറ്റിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ചില ചേഞ്ചസ് എന്നാലും വരില്ലേ?
അല്ല സാറേ, അതിനകത്തും ഉള്ള കാര്യം ഇതാ സാറേ, നമ്മളല്ലേ പറയുന്നത് ഈ ജനറ്റിക്കലി അങ്ങനെ മെയിൽസ് ഇത് എന്താ പറയാ ഒരു സുപ്രമസി കാണിക്കുന്ന ആളുകളാണെന്ന്. പക്ഷേ വി ഓൾ ഹാവ് ലേൺഡ് ദി പ്രീഹിസ്റ്റോറിക് മെൻ വൈൽ ഫീമെയിൽസ് വെയർ ഗോയിങ് ഔട്ട് ഫോർ ഫുഡ്, ഫോർ ഹണ്ടിങ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ, ആൻഡ് മെൻ വെയർ കെപ്റ്റ് അറ്റ് ഹോം. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ ഒരു കാലം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ ഇത് രണ്ടും വേണ്ട, let it be going together type of life.
Yes. Yeah. And the other 7, I think we have got Nisha in the action plan. There are other 6 points that are going to be carried out. Definitely on a time-bound basis, if it is carried out, it will be an excellent action plan. Again, congratulations to Nisha, Ranjit, and all the teammates of the action plan for implementing this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to hear from Krishna Kumar, sir, because I think he will be able to tell us more about these issues.
It's actually, I should congratulate Nisha for a very informative talk, especially the terminologies, transgender, all those terminologies are new to many of pediatricians. And Dr. Naik was asking about what about pregnancy and actually അതൊരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണയാണ്. അത് ഈ ജെൻഡർ ന്യൂട്രാലിറ്റി, ജെൻഡർ ഇക്വാലിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് ഡസന്റ് മീൻ ദറ്റ് സ്ത്രീകളും പുരുഷന്മാരും എല്ലാം ഒരുപോലെ, അങ്ങനെയല്ല. അത് ഇക്വാലിറ്റി എന്നുള്ള കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇസ് ടോട്ടലി ഡിഫറെന്റ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസന്റ് മീൻ ദറ്റ് മെൻ ഷുഡ് become pregnant or give birth, അങ്ങനെയല്ല അത്. And that difference, biological difference is there. But gender എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it is not biological alone or it's not genetical alone. It is something which, as Riaz was telling, നമ്മൾ കുറേ generations കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ഒരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആണ്. And that should change actually. അപ്പൊ അതില് ആണുങ്ങളാണ് കൂടുതൽ ബെറ്റർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫീമെയിൽസ്, അങ്ങനെ കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇല്ല. That is what Nisha was always stressing, that I'm talking about equality. Even the last few slides, she was stressing that I'm talking about not men and women alone, talking about transgender also. She was adding the transgender terminology to all those women and child development campaign. It's actually the concept of equality. Equality means equality in your, she was actually mentioning it also, in your job, at home, വീട്ടിലെ ജോലി സ്ഥലത്ത്. That is the concept. Doesn't mean that biologically both are, അങ്ങനെയല്ല. And actually Naik was actually തമാശയായിട്ട് ചോദിച്ചാണ് അത്. So we all should appreciate Dr. Nisha's presentation. It was very informative, very useful. And also I should congratulate, appreciate the IAP for taking this initiative, which is actually badly needed nowadays. And I think we should take a look at our textbook terminologies also. Even in psychiatric textbooks, they're talking about homosexuality, things like
all the text should be revised actually.
All the text should be revised.
Yes.
എനിക്കൊരു എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഉണ്ടായി. Actually, I wrote an article on adolescent sexuality in Shastra Sahitya Parishthinte Shastra Keralathil. There was our edition അതിനു വേണ്ടി മാറ്റി വെച്ചു for adolescent. അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ ഞാൻ ഹോമോസെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റി, ട്രാൻസിയൻ ഹോമോസെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റി അഡോളസെൻസിൽ കോമൺ ആണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ one girl telephoned me and she told me you should not use the term. And actually, she taught me a lot. So I went back and referred all these terminologies, and I learned a lot from her. So അത് വളരെ സെൻസിറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ആ കുട്ടി പറഞ്ഞു. ആ ടെർമിനോളജി ശരിയല്ല എന്നും
They need their labels right. They don't want.
So actually, we all should have a relook at our use of these terminologies, textbook terms and all. So thank you, Dr. Nisha.
Thank you, sir. Parvati madam undo, madam. Parvati madam.
Parvati ma'am, madam undarnu madam.
ഉണ്ട്. Excellent talk, Nisha. What should I say? എന്താണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു മണിക്കൂർ പോയത് അറിഞ്ഞേ ഇല്ല. വളരെ നന്നായിരുന്നു. You have done a wonderful job. So proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
നന്നായിരുന്നു.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
ഈ ഇക്വാലിറ്റിയും ഇക്വിറ്റിയും ഒക്കെ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആണ്. റിയാസ് പറഞ്ഞ മാതിരി പണ്ട് തുടങ്ങിയ കാര്യങ്ങളാണല്ലോ. അതാണ് ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഏതെങ്കിലും സ്ഥലത്ത് ഇപ്പോ സ്ത്രീകളാണ് കുറച്ച് മുൻകൈ എടുക്കണേ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അപ്പൊ പറയും ഹെൻപെക്ട് ഹസ്ബൻഡ് ആണെന്ന് പറയും അല്ലേ? കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? അതൊക്കെയാണ് കാര്യം. അതാണ്. പിന്നെന്താണ്, സ്ത്രീകളുടെ ശത്രുക്കൾ സ്ത്രീകൾ തന്നെയാണെന്ന് പറയാം.
അല്ല, അത് ഈവനിങ് സീരിയൽസ് ആണ് ഈ പ്രശ്നം കൂടുതൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്.
അല്ല, സീരിയല് കാണുന്ന ആണുങ്ങളുണ്ട് കേട്ടോ. പിന്നെ
നമ്മുടെ റിയാസ് ബ്ലൂ ഫോർ ബോയ്സ് പിങ്ക് ഫോർ ഗേൾസ് എന്നാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഗ്രോത്ത് ചാർട്ടിൻ്റെത്. അത് എനിക്കതൊരു വെസ്റ്റേൺ ഐഡിയ ആണ് അല്ലത്. അത് നമ്മളത് IAP അത് കടമെടുത്തിട്ട്
അതെ. അതിപ്പോ എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാല് പുറത്തൊക്കെ എങ്ങനെയാന്ന് വെച്ചാല് ബ്ലൂ ഇട്ട് വന്നാൽ അത് ആൺകുട്ടിയാണ്. അതിപ്പോ നമ്മള്
കൺസെപ്റ്റ്
അവരുടെ കൺസെപ്റ്റ് എങ്ങനെയാണ്.
പ്രോബബ്ലി ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് നമ്മളിപ്പം മിസ് ചെയ്ത് ചിലപ്പോ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും തെറ്റിപ്പോണ്ടാ വിചാരിച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും പെട്ടെന്ന് എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പോ ഞാനിപ്പോ എന്നിട്ട് തെറ്റിക്കലുണ്ട്. ചിലപ്പം ഗേൾസിന്റെ അടുത്ത് ബോയ്സ് കുറച്ച് 2 ഡോട്ടൊക്കെ കിട്ടിയിട്ടായിരിക്കും പിന്നെ ആലോചിക്കുന്നത് തെറ്റിപ്പോയല്ലോ എന്ന്. ഈവൻ വിത്ത് ഓൾ ദിസ് കളർ
അത് മാറ്റണമെന്നില്ല. ആക്ച്വലി താഴെയുള്ള കുട്ടികളെയാണ് മോർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ്.
ബ്ലൂ ഈസ് ബെറ്റർ ദാൻ ഇതിൽ അങ്ങനെ ഇല്ല, പിങ്ക് ഇല്ല തോന്നുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ലെജൻഡിൽ വേണേ ഇട്ട് വെക്കാം, പിങ്ക് ഫോർ ഗേൾ ബ്ലൂ ഫോർ ബോയ് എന്ന് ലെജൻഡ് ഇട്ട് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് അങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളൂ എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഇംപ്രഷൻ വരും.
That doesn't mean that blue is
കളറ് തിരിച്ചിട്ടാ മതി. പിങ്കും ഗേൾസിന്റെ ബ്ലൂ ആക്കാം.
പിന്നെ
സ്റ്റീരിയോടൈപ്പിംഗ് മാറ്റണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് മാറ്റേണ്ടതാണ്. അതാണ് ആ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ.
ബ്ലാക്ക് ആൻഡ് വൈറ്റ് മാത്രം
സാറേ, വേറെ കളർ ആക്കിയാൽ മതി. ഇതേ കളറിനെ ജഡ്ജ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട വേറെ കളറിലേക്ക് മാറ്റിയാൽ മതി.
അല്ല, വേറെ കളർ വേണ്ട, ബ്ലാക്ക് ആൻഡ് വൈറ്റ് മതി.
ശരിക്കും ഈ കളറിലൊക്കെ വലിയ കാര്യമുണ്ടോ? അതെ, അങ്ങനെ സംതിങ് പോരെ. കളറ് നമ്മൾ അത്രയും അതിനേക്കാൾ ഒരുപാട് ഇഷ്യൂസ് വേറെ കിടക്കണോ? ഓട്ടിസം ഇപ്പം ബ്ലൂ കളറല്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്താ പ്രോബ്ലം ഉള്ളത്? See, that indicates that it is more common. അതിനേക്കാളും വേറെ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇരിക്കല്ലേ. ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഫോർ ഈക്വൽ പ്ലേ, അതൊക്കെയല്ലേ മോർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ദാൻ
നോ സ്റ്റീരിയോടൈപ്സ് ബേസിക്കലി.
ഇപ്പൊ ഫുട്ബോളും ക്രിക്കറ്റും ഒക്കെ പെൺകുട്ടികളും
if they are given opportunities to choose any game, that's an important step. അതിലൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ കൂടുതൽ.
ശരിക്കും ഇപ്പം ഈ കേരളത്തിലെ കണക്കൊക്കെ എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഉന്നത വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന് പോകുന്നതില് കൂടുതലും ഗേൾസ് തന്നെ, ബോയ്സ് അല്ല.
നമ്മുടെ പിന്നെ
അതല്ല നമ്മുടെ പഠിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് നന്നായിട്ട്, പക്ഷെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നവരുടെ മൈനോറിറ്റിയാണ് മാഡം.
അപ്പൊ ഓവർ വർക്ക് ആണ് ആക്ച്വലി. എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തും അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ മൂഡും മൈൻഡും ഒക്കെ ചിലപ്പോൾ അപ്സെറ്റ് ആവും.
നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഗ്രോത്ത് ചാർട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ റിയാസ്, നമ്മുടെ വിജയലക്ഷ്മി മാഡം എപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ ഒപ്പി എന്ന് പറയുന്നു ബ്ലൂ ചാർട്ട്സ് ആർ മോർ യൂസ്ഡ് കമ്പയർഡ് ടു പിങ്ക് എന്ന് പറയും. ആ ബുക്കിൽ ബ്ലൂ ചാർട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഫുൾ തീർന്നാലും പിങ്ക് അവിടെ തന്നെ ബാക്കി ഉണ്ടാവും. That indicates that boys are more referred for evaluation of short stages.
പക്ഷേ സാറേ അത് നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ അത്ര ട്രൂ അല്ല എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു സാർ. അല്ലേ?
That may be true in North India.
ബ്ലൂ എപ്പോഴും തീരും വേഗം.
പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ഇതൊരു ഈ മോഡ്യൂൾസ് നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെയാ റോൾ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് നിഷ ഒന്ന്
നമുക്ക് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം അല്ലേ? പിന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇത്ര ലേറ്റ് ആയല്ലോ, നമുക്കത് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാമല്ലോ. ഗ്രൂപ്പ്
വാട്സ്ആപ്പ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ
സാർ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ.
റിയാസ് സാറേ, നമുക്കത് മലയാളത്തിലേക്ക് ആദ്യം ആക്കണം. ടീച്ചേഴ്സിലേക്ക് ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് കുറച്ച് മലയാളം മോഡ്യൂൾ ആക്കാം. ഇത് പിന്നെ അതിന് ശേഷം ഒന്ന് നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ മാതിരി
ആണെങ്കിൽ അത് നോക്കിയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് മലയാളത്തിൽ തൽക്കാലം റോൾ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ അത് പറ്റുമായിരിക്കും. മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയാമല്ലോ, കാര്യം അങ്ങ് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതിയല്ലോ.
ഈ WCD ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിനെയും കൂടെ ഇതിനകത്ത് ഇൻവോൾവ് ചെയ്തേ നമുക്ക് കുറച്ച് പ്രിന്റിങ്ങും സാധനങ്ങളും ഒക്കെ അവർ ചെയ്തു തരും. നമുക്ക് അവരെ ഒന്ന് കൂട്ടാവുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അംഗൻവാടിക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള സാധനങ്ങൾ
WCD FB പേജ് ഭയങ്കര നല്ല സാറേ. അതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ കുറെ സാധനങ്ങൾ നല്ല കുറെ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. അവരുടെ നല്ല മോഡ്യൂൾസ് ഉണ്ട്.
ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡേഴ്സ് ഒട്ടും ഇൻവോൾവ് അല്ല അതിനകത്ത്.
ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡേഴ്സ് നമ്മളെ കൺസെപ്റ്റിലേക്ക് കയറ്റിയതല്ല മാഡം. അത് അവര് തീരെ
വിമൻ ആൻഡ് ചൈൽഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കാം.
വിമൻ ആൻഡ് ചൈൽഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് അവര് ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിനെ പറ്റി ബോധേഡ് അല്ല അവര്.
പക്ഷെ അതുകൊണ്ട് കയറണ്ടേ, അവരെ ആരെങ്കിലും നോക്കണ്ടേ?
അവരെയും കൂടെ നോക്കണം. നമ്മുടെ മോഡ്യൂൾ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ കൂടെ ഇൻക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് നമുക്ക് അത് റോൾ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യണം.
നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് ലേറ്റ് ആയെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. വിജയകുമാർ സാർ ഒരു കൺക്ലൂഷൻ പറഞ്ഞ് സാർ.
അല്ല, ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ വണ്ടർഫുൾ പ്രോഗ്രാം. എനിക്ക് നല്ലൊരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. അത് പ്രസിഡൻഷ്യൽ ആക്ഷൻ പ്ലാനിൽ കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. അത് ഒരു ആപ്പ് പേഴ്സണിൽ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ അതിൽ നിയോഗിച്ചു. ആൻഡ് കൺഗ്രാജുലേഷൻ ഡോക്ടർ നിഷ. ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ വണ്ടർഫുൾ മോഡ്യൂൾ ആക്ച്വലി. ആൻഡ് അഗെയിൻ കൺഗ്രാജുലേഷൻ ടു റിയാസ്, രഞ്ജിത്ത്, ശ്വേത, പ്രീജ ആൻഡ് ഓൾ. ബാക്കിയുടെ ഇവിടെ കാണുന്നില്ല. ധന്യ is here. ധന്യ is here. Yeah. And congratulations to all of you. I think we have to keep up this momentum. നല്ലൊരു നമ്മുടെ ധന്യ കാണുന്നുണ്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ. And congratulations to all. I think we have to
we were wearing purple. This is a purple movement, no? Dhanya, Shweta, me, ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും പറഞ്ഞ ഓടിക്കും. ലാസ്റ്റ് മിനിറ്റിൽ പേർപ്പിൾ വേണമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു.
അതെ, ഞാൻ കണ്ടില്ലേ, ഞാന് മോഹൻദാസ് ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ ബ്ലൂ
നമ്മള് പേർപ്പിൾ മൂവ്മെന്റ്.
അല്ലെ സാറേ, വയനാട് എത്തിയപ്പോഴേ ഒരു പിങ്ക് ആ കൂടെ ഒറ്റ വേറെ ഷർട്ട് ഓപ്ഷൻ ഇല്ല.
പെഡിക്കോണ്ട് ഫുൾ പർപ്പിൾ അല്ലേ, പിങ്ക് അല്ലേ?
പെഡിക്കോണ്ട് പർപ്പിൾ.
Congratulations to all. I think we can keep up this momentum. We can plan our action plan. അല്ലേ, നമുക്കൊരു മീറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമുക്ക് അടുത്ത പോയിന്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ അടുത്ത പ്ലാൻ ഒക്കെ നമുക്ക് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം.
ശരി സർ.
ഓക്കേ, താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച്. ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ്.
ജോണി സർ ലോഗ് ഔട്ട് ആയിരുന്നു.
ജോണി ഇല്ലേ?
ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഇപ്പൊ ലോഗ് ഔട്ട് ആയി പോയിരുന്നു. ഓക്കേ,
താങ്ക് യു മോഹൻദാസ് സർ, അജയ് നമ്മുടെ ഹോസ്റ്റിംഗ് മാൻ.
അജയ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഒരു എന്താ പറയാ, ഒരു സ്പ്രീ പോലെയാണ് ഓരോ ദിവസവും.
അജയനെ ഒന്ന് വെല്ലുവിളിച്ചപ്പോ അജയാണ് പഴശ്ശിയുടെ യുദ്ധം കാണാൻ പോകുന്നേയുള്ളൂ പറഞ്ഞ മറുപടി കൊടുത്താണ്.
അജയ് കൂളായിട്ടാ
ഒരു വർഷം ചുമ്മാ ചോദിച്ചതാണ്,
ചെയ്യാന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാണ്. ഒന്ന് വെല്ലുവിളിച്ചപ്പോഴേ പഴശ്ശിയുടെ യുദ്ധം കാണാൻ പോകുന്ന.
IMA മീറ്റിംഗുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ലേറ്റ് ആയി ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ. താങ്ക് യു നിഷ. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു. സ്ലൈഡ്സ് കിട്ടിയാൽ നന്നായിരുന്നു. സ്ലൈഡ്സ് ഒന്ന് കിട്ടിയാൽ നന്നായിരുന്നു.
This is actually for public dissemination, sir. എല്ലാം പഠിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ we will be putting it up in the IAP website.
Thank you very much. Nice presentation. Okay,
thank you, sir.
സതീഷ് സാർ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. സതീഷ് സാർ നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാ മീറ്റിംഗിലും ഉണ്ടാവുന്നതാണ്. സതീഷ് സാറും ഉണ്ട്, UAE ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് സാർ എപ്പോഴും.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Riya sir, Nisha, Dr. Nisha ma'am.
Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you, Riyas.
Thank you. Good
Thank you,
night.
all the coordinators. Thank you, Shweta.
Hi, Shweta, wonderful presentation. നന്നായിട്ട് ചെയ്തു. അടിപൊളി.
ശ്വേത നല്ലൊരു എഴുത്തുകാരിയാണ് കേട്ടോ. നമ്മുടെ യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്യാത്ത നമ്മുടെ എഴുതുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നവരാണ്. നല്ല എഴുത്തുകാരിയാണ്. Good night.
Here. Good night.